Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Yes!
Yeah,
Okay.
What's up, everybody? Weekend is here. Yeah. Virginia back from New Orleans. Said she cannot wait to go out and get trashed again tonight.
Not really.
That's going to be something to see.
That sucks, Mama, because we're ready to get this shit going, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
over here
Yeah, I know.
coming in all injured.
Well, I will have a couple beers with you, but I can't go nuts. I mean, my liver might just give up.
It takes one shot to turn the whole game around. I've seen this shit before.
We'll see how it goes around game time. Audrey sent an email about her trip to New Orleans from Tallahassee. She was there when she was about 19 for a friend's birthday. It was the weekend before Mardi Gras. It's called like Crew de View or something like that.
Yeah, they actually celebrate for a few weeks before Mardi Gras. So
Of course they do.
2 weeks out, you've got parades every weekend.
Wow.
You've got, the week before, you got parades every single night, like 5 and 6 parades.
She said that they went there and then ventured over to the Bourbon Cowboy.
Oh, yes, I know it well. They have a mechanical bull in there that I've ridden quite a few times.
Okay. That's not the bar we went to when Jaber got punched in the face, was it?
I don't think so. That's
Okay.
on the other side of the street.
I got punched on the streets of New Orleans.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I did nothing. I didn't want to buy what they were selling. Not like figuratively. Like I really meant that I did not want to buy their thing. They were trying to sell me something. I'm like, no. Like, come on, you want to buy this? I'm like, no, I don't. Bitch. And they punched me. I think they were drunk too.
I mean, talk about an aggressive sales pitch.
It was
It really
weird.
is.
It was weird.
If you didn't want to buy it before, now you really don't want to buy
Right.
it.
Yeah. No.
I don't
still
think-
feel the same.
Could you imagine you walk into Best Buy and that happens?
I just don't think they were sanctioned. I think this was some shit that they were selling on the low.
Yeah, that happens.
Really? What gave you that idea?
The punch.
Yeah, so she had been drinking all day with her boyfriend and did that move where she went right into the men's bathroom with them. They were in there giggling as they tinkled, and then they came back out. The big old bouncer came up and said, I know what you guys have been doing in there. Like, oh, no, we just went to go pee, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't fly at the Bourbon Cowboy. And I had to go tell my 19 friends we had to leave the bar because the asshole bouncer thought we were capable of having sex in 45 seconds hammered in a stall bathroom. She said, we're also the same couple that got kicked out of Epcot on my birthday because my boyfriend wouldn't listen to me talk about French culture.
Oh, didn't she get all upset and start crying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got the boot. And she said, P.S. Jaber, go fuck yourself.
Nice.
Got this email. Kevin's a biased dick.
Oh, you've been teasing this one for a couple days.
Yeah. It's from Justin. Said, hey, just wanted to help you understand why people were calling you biased the other day about the whole church tipping thing. I don't agree with those people, but I think I understand because the church took responsibility for their oversight. And when to make things right, Kevin said that people who are just anti-religion or Christianity are just jumping on to slam the church. While there is a lot of that, I'm sure, that isn't everyone's motivation. There are people who feel that not tipping on such a large order is such an egregious oversight that even though the church retroactively tried to make it right, they still believe the church was wrong. In other words, it could be the same story, but substitute church with any organization, say the Boy Scouts. And there are some people who would still come down just as hard on them, not because they are anti-Boy Scouts, but because they don't believe an oversight like that should ever occur. Not saying that those people are right, but it's also not fair to say anyone who comes out strongly against the church over this story is ex facto anti-religion. In the same vein, someone like me who is anti-church sides with the church in this case because I believe they attempted to make it right and that employee was way out of line. So me siding with the church doesn't mean I'm pro-religion in the same way as someone who sides with the waitress doesn't make them anti-church. Hope this makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't get that from you. I
No.
thought you were talking about the extreme comments on social media that were there just to be a dick because it was a church.
They were saying this is typical church and this is what a church does, and those are the ones that were saying, yeah, they're just there to take your money and steal your money, and then they always purposely try to like not give it back out, and that's kind of so those were the ones they seemed like they were the very targeted kind of complaints where it's like he's saying if you were to remove church and put Boy Scouts in there, those comments wouldn't have applied. it was, just kind of like opening the door for saying, okay, let's go in and attack the church on other things.
Because we have other church hate.
Right.
And
That's what I was saying was going on with that.
And he's right, too, that not everyone that disagreed with the story or is a hater of churches. That's not what you were saying.
No,
though,
I
'cause
wasn't, no.
You knew people that didn't agree with the church weren't going against the church itself just because it was a church. You're talking about a very selected group.
Those specific. And it was a majority of the anti-comments because there was only a small little sliver of people that were like saying, okay, yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. Everyone knows that you tip on takeout and this much and this and that. I think that for a lot of people it was a story because it was a little bit of a wake-up call because some people, myself included, said, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Church did admit, yeah, we knew that. Our person didn't do it. Yeah, I'm talking specifically about the comments that, went directly, and it was obvious.
What did they say was the end result? What do you tip on takeout?
This is, again, my problem. This is, again, my problem with it because I got so many different servers and so many different emails, and they were saying typically maybe 10 to 15%, but it really depends. I hate tipping for that reason. I don't like the system we have for tipping in this country right now is broken because nobody knows. And it depends upon, you could ask 3 different people and get 3 different answers on how much is customary to tip. And that's why the comment that the girl had said, she said it's customary. Everyone knows you start at 15% and then you go up from there. And a lot of people go, no, that's not true. So people couldn't even agree on that. That's why the story was really a hot mess. And to me, really shone a light on the problem we have with tipping in America because you don't know. People are like going, well, clearly if you make, minimum wage, then I'm like, well, who makes what? I don't know who makes what.
Right.
I am admittedly very ignorant. I've never worked in the service industry. I mean, I pretty much came right out of school. I worked at a grocery store bagging groceries before I went to college. And then right after that, I've only been in radio.
You're soft, Ralston. You're soft.
I've never been in the service industry. I know nothing about it. So I'm admittedly ignorant. I've never had experience.
I worked at Fridays for 4 days, so I've been in the weeds before.
You got that.
I get it.
You got that.
I think that you should always, if you get great service or you get somebody who really helps you, like when I go pick up all this food for Little Smiles meetings and they have to help me carry it out to the car because it's so much food. Like for me, I'm not good at math. 20% is easy to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
You just take that first number and double it.
Okay.
And you just put the period and the decimal just closer to the left than the right.
Huh?
You do not sound confident, and you have lost me and Kevin and our audience.
What? That's why she's not allowed to talk about math. I always tell her, I'm like, there's a ban on you talking about math because it is confusing and it always loses the room. Oh boy, stop it! Just stop it. You got to stop it.
It's easy. 20% is easy to figure out, even if you're a dumbass like me and terrible at math. I just go 20%. Now, if they're awful, maybe I would do 15, but that's hard math.
But I think the question still is with who at every single position deserves it. And what has happened, it's kind of been an all-in. Like so many people have their hands out that you just don't know. And kind of what we got back into, not to get too far back into the tipping thing, but it was like smoothie guy who just made your smoothie. Does that count? And so you go on down the line, and there's about 8,000 different businesses and things where there's an opportunity to tip where you don't know if you do or not.
Weed dealer, he's crushing it. He gets there on time. He's never been late.
Yeah. So to me, the ultimate thing would be great is if we came up with a better system where tips are wrapped in there. You don't have to worry about it. If you feel so moved to give somebody a little bit above and beyond, I don't ever want anyone to get ripped off by any means.
Of course not.
And so if it's like that, hey, you were just absolutely exceptional. I'll give you an extra $5. Around the holidays, you give gifts to whoever you think deserves one, and then let's call it good. Takes away the confusion and should be all great. So Justin said, I understand the point and the context of what Kev said, but many others only heard what they wanted, didn't want to hear. To be clear, though, Kevin is still a biased douche, and Jason can go fuck himself.
I agree,
Yes.
Especially with the latter part of that email.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's right though. Sometimes you can even explain yourself 3 times over, and you've already been.
Yeah, not every comment was against the church. It was the ones, and I could point them out. They were very clearly just like, cool, a chance to pile on.
I knew what you meant, and maybe only because I know you.
Maybe
yeah. I didn't hear it.
To clarify, I was talking about the comments that were just it had really nothing to do with tipping.
For sure. They
Yeah.
had an agenda.
Yeah, so if you would have done his example of putting in just other business, whatever it is, X in the place of the church, it would have been.
But at the
That
end of the
made sense.
day, we can all agree on one thing. Jay Bird, go fuck yourself.
I thought you were going to say Kevin's a biased dick. I think you can flip a coin on that one.
Goes both ways.
And you're great at math. Can we do more math with Virginia?
No.
I was really getting it.
Your face, okay, maybe you were, but your face didn't look like it was.
That's just because my face is weird today. I can't wear any eye makeup because my eyes won't stop watering.
No, you don't look weird. You look beautiful. You look
I don't know
great.
what's the matter with my face.
Tell her she looks beautiful. Let's move on. You're great.
I've had this eye watering issue again.
Yeah.
I think there's something in the studio. I'm being honest. I think there's some weird shit, molecules or whatever you want to call it.
Really?
I do. Denny's has got a stain over where he's at in his room. Have you seen the stain in Denny's room? It is gross. It's right over him, and it's getting bigger.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he said he's getting a weird cough. I'm sure that has nothing to do with how much he smokes.
Tatiana said, I was driving my daughter to school this morning. We were listening to Kevin talk about the movie Black Panther and how great it is, and that they are getting so diverse. She looks at me and she says that Kevin should really do his research before talking about things he does not know.
Uh-oh, Kevin is now an ignorant dick.
Ignorant and biased dick. She wanted me to tell Kevin that the comic for Black Panther has been around since 1966 and was created by Marvel comic writer Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and was the first comic book African superhero. So there's nothing new about that. She wanted to say that it is an awesome comic, and she hopes that they are sticking to the storylines from the comic. She's very excited to go see it. So there you go.
I feel like I want to defend you again, but now I just sound like I'm your lover.
Yes.
Well, it is a new movie.
That's what
Yeah.
for people who aren't comic book dorks.
Right.
I didn't know that. I had no idea. I barely know what's going on with fucking Batman and Robin.
And
Yes.
it's not racial. He don't know jack about Superman either.
I
Yes.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's what I was saying. Yes, it is new to a lot of audiences.
But let's all
In the
agree on one
superhero
thing,
genre.
Kevin.
It's a new movie.
Kevin is a biased, ignorant dick.
Oh, man, they're really coming for you.
I mean, the kids are coming for you. The children
It's a lot of hate for me today.
calling you
Good
out.
Lord.
Please say there's something in there coming after Virginia. You've been off a couple days. You're not going to get to know
I know.
shit.
I've been flying under the radar.
No, Virginia gets an email that says Virginia has officially made it. That's what she gets, yeah.
I've made it.
Yeah, somebody said they're listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and they said that you were kind of inadvertently mentioned on it.
I don't like that Joe Rogan dick.
I think he's changed a lot, to be quite honest with you. I think when he was.
Well, I like to hold on to the past.
All right, you know what? I'm going to try to rebuild. But, all right.
Yeah, it really wasn't you. You were just kind of inadvertently in it because they were making fun of Wyatt Coke and the Wild Pants Party, and you were emceeing it. So that was from Joe Rogan's website. They were looking at, and they may not have gotten exactly what it was that he was doing. Because yeah, if you look at me, you're going, "Oh my gosh, this is a rich guy's son, and he dresses like that," and you're like, "Oh my gosh." But
I didn't know he was. I remember talking to the dude. I didn't know he was famous.
Oh, he's balls money.
That guy is?
That guy's got
His dad,
so much money.
Yeah, the
Which is-
Cokes.
Oh, I didn't realize that was his kid.
Yeah, his I think it was his dad that did Oxbridge.
It's a dad. There's brothers.
Yeah.
One's his uncle. One's his dad. I don't know which is
I
which.
think his dad's the one that did Oxbridge. If you go by Oxbridge Academy.
But I've heard the Koch brothers. Like I've heard people
Yeah.
say that stuff before.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I met the one that did Oxbridge.
Were they ragging on Virginia at all?
No, I don't think so. I don't know that he made that connection. I think it was just mainly like they showed it and they're like, "Oh, hey, that's Virginia in the
Well,
photo."
Joe Rogan has made fun of us pretty much to our face before.
Well, what had happened was, and I'm not defending him, but he was doing a reality show, and I think back then he was trying to start his own reality show, and he was trying to make it edgy. And I think a lot of those comedians do hate going into morning radio, especially when morning shows will have them do a bit that they're walking into. I've just heard them talk about that stuff before, how they hate that shit. I think that's what he thought.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh boy.
Whose fucking side are you on?
I'm not.
You little bitch. Are you defending Joe Rogan?
I just don't like holding
and
on.
the comedian?
I don't hold on to shit like you. You want to fucking
Go
burn
fuck
down
yourself.
his family's farm.
Go fuck yourself.
I think people can change sometimes. Oh God, you're right, Bird. Go fuck yourself. Why do I even try? I'm done arguing with you.
Got this email saying, hey, love you guys dearly. Listen every day. There's been something I've been wondering about. We know how Jaybird's mom, rest in peace, and Ann feel about Kevin and Virginia and the show. And Denny's mom doesn't care for it either. How does Suits' mom feel about the show?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I don't think we know.
Since he is changing, experiencing, and clearly masturbating more, I've often wondered how she feels about it. It'd be a great ATS segment. So,
Suits.
yeah.
Does your mom hate us?
Actually, no. She really likes you guys.
Really?
I'm probably the only one that has parents that enjoy listening to this show.
Wow. Okay, that's a breath of fresh air.
My family liked listening to part of the show.
Just the part where
That first
Kevin's
week.
not on it.
Yes. Let me see. And she said, P.S. I know it is late, but I was dying laughing to listen to the edible stories on the show. Well, my husband and I went to Disney, and he had one too many brownies, and we'll just attach the photo for you. We were waiting in line for the Little Mermaid ride. How did they not kick us out? So apparently he is a little stoned in that photo there.
Yeah.
I know a guy who had too many edibles at Disney.
You did.
It'll mess with you. You
Oh,
know
it
him.
will.
You know him too. He's not here, but it will. If you're not used to it, you got to be really careful with those edibles.
Okay.
They're different.
A whole brownie is not like a regular whole brownie where you should eat the whole thing.
Oh, really?
I think you got to split those things up.
Sometimes motherfuckers think fake trees are real trees when they're in those theme parks.
Yep.
What? Who would think that? That's pretty crazy. Got this from Melissa. She said, hey, I just got this message below before getting into my Lyft. It made me think of your discussion on Uber and Lyft drivers. He doesn't have the AC on, but I can't really ask him to change it or talk to him. What do you guys think? The message is, your driver is deaf or hard of hearing. Please text them instead of calling and let them know.
I've had that before, yeah.
I immediately demand for the air conditioning to be on. It is South Florida. There's no way.
I'm just, you know what, when I get into someone's car, even if it's an Uber, I don't ask them for anything. I feel weird to say, hey, man, can you turn down that or can you put this up?
I don't care what you do with the music. I don't care what you do with anything else, but you have got to put the AC on because I cannot arrive looking like I just come out of the ocean. And Mama's wearing Spanx. I'm going to sweat. No. AC must be on.
Uber diva.
Nadia said, hey, can Jaybird please stop talking about the Gardine's meatless products? They're 80% soy, and you wonder, Jaybird, why you've got man boobs. On the...
What the fuck? What?
Does soy give you titties?
What was this over here trying to help out some people that want to know about
His
meatless?
face isn't the only thing that's sagging.
Oh my God. Damn, I'm just over here. All right, what else is this? There's a lovely person.
Thank goodness tomorrow's Saturday because I don't think his heart could take another day of this.
First they were coming after you, now they're coming after my titties. All right, what else do
Tough
they?
day today. They got us Friday.
And who knew soy gives you titties?
These opinionated motherfuckers.
On the tipping topic, some restaurants in Sobe don't even pay servers per hour at all. Nothing. If they don't get tips, they work for free. So, yeah, this is bullshit. I mean, this honestly, a lot of it's just, restaurants trying to be cheap fucks and they're, making a ton of money. And it's just not right. Honestly, that's what you got to do. Step up and be like, screw you guys. Pay your people right, man. My girl and I are doing a girls' trip in May and to South Florida. And we want to stay in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And enjoy the hot spots and hopefully party with y'all. Any ideas for two gals on a budget? Looking to have fun and hopefully see y'all.
What's the dates, did they say?
It said in May.
Okay, well, we don't know the schedule yet for May.
If we got a cocktail and karaoke, if it,
We could have one.
Even if it was in Broward or Broward, I'd say not Broward, Boca. Yeah, Boca. Even if it's there, they could still come. It's pretty close.
Yeah, so that's something going on as far as Fort Lauderdale goes. Stuff to check out when you're there. I like River Market Brewery is one of my favorite places. If you like the craft beer stuff, I like that. It's kind of like a little hipster hangout. It's kind of like a little old-time grocery store, and you go, and they've got just coolers and coolers of craft beer, and you go, and you just look in there, and they have great variety and selection. You get the craft beer, and you just pop the top. They have, like, bottle openers hanging down on strings from the ceiling, and you just pop it up, and you take your bottle caps up. And that's how you pay at the end.
Being close to the water is fun. The closer you are to the beach, there's going to be more activity, too, if you're a group looking for, like, nightlife and restaurants. And
Bayside's cheesy, but it's still one of my favorites. They got that great Hooters there. It's kind of like right there on Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Yeah.
You got that whole area, and they got the strip there.
What about, like, a Grand Prix Racerama? Do you guys remember Grand Prix? Isn't that still around in the Broward area, right?
I never heard of that.
You never heard of Grand Prix Racerama?
No, they got the Extreme Sports that's there. It's right
Dave
off of
and
95.
Buster's.
Dave
You
and
guys-
Buster's is there.
Oh, Grand Prix Racerama, man. That is where it's at.
Are you talking about what became Boomers with the wooden roller coaster? The place that's grown over and torn down now?
yeah, if so, that thing ain't there no more.
Grand Prix Racerama's not there?
Thanks for the great advice.
No.
I think that's about the third time he's mentioned something. He's been gone for about 20 years this week. What was the other thing? He threw something out there. He's been
No,
gone.
that's not true. Grand Prix Racerama.
You know what's not gone? His titties.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing, Kev? You're enabling her.
Let me see. There's other places to do down by New River. You can check some stuff out. I like the Hemmershey District and Fort Lauderdale. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Is it downtown Oakland? They're trying to build up now.
Oakland Park, yeah. You
Yeah.
can go to Funky Buddha.
Funky Buddha's
It's there.
there.
Yeah.
The Tats and Tacos is there.
Right. Or good stuff about that. Yeah, there's a lot of cool little places like
Yeah.
that.
You got the
It's all about what you're into. Like some people like to do the clubbing thing. Some people like to do the day drinking thing. Some people like the beer. Some people. You really need to be more specific about what your group likes to do.
Sawgrass Mall. Sawgrass Mall. What? Why is that a bad?
She's talking about a girls' trip.
Do they not have bars down by the Sawgrass Mall?
Yeah, they just put in a yard house over there, and it's right
Okay.
by the BB&T Center.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. All right.
Yeah, your Grand Prix
Racerama.
Grand Prix Racerama is what I was talking about. Then Dania Beach. It turned into Boomers, and it's now shut down.
Oh.
That's been for a while.
Don't give me your aw. I hate your aw.
I mean, I think its last good year was like 88.
No, there's no fucking way. There's
Yeah.
no way.
There is. Kevin's
88
reading it.
1988 Grand Prix Racerama.
I think yeah.
I'm that out of touch.
Yeah. Are you just now realizing this? Your references are all at least about 25 years old. Like every reference you have.
I'm not gonna stop giving them.
I don't. It's like you've been in a coma for the last 2 decades. It's like your life is like while you were sleeping.
We should have pulled the plug.
Like, where's this guy been?
Yeah, I mean, if it was
Like, you don't
88
have a memory since you started working for our show.
There was something else that you called me out on that it didn't close.
I can't remember.
It was Wilt Chamberlain's.
Oh, that's right, Will Chamberlain.
It closed
I'm
in
like, dude, I went to that like maybe my first week here in like 2000, but
I think it closed in 2001.
I haven't seen that in a long time, man. Okay, let's see here. Got this email primarily for Virginia. My daughter is 11 years old. I know the time is coming where she's going to be a young lady soon. I need some advice on what I should and shouldn't talk about. I did talk to her about what to expect as far as her period goes, but I didn't go into the sex part. Is this something I should talk about soon? When is a good time? She is my only girl, and my mom didn't really have this talk with me. My mom passed away when I was 15, and I got pregnant at the age of 16, so I really could use some advice on this subject. That's from Michelle in Houston.
You got to talk about it. I know it's uncomfortable and it's weird, but it's funny that you say your daughter's 11. My daughter's 12, but I had the talk with her when she was 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think as soon as they start to notice boys, which I was noticing she was starting to notice, other little girls in our neighborhood would like, oh, I have this little boyfriend or I have that little boyfriend. And then I would ask her if she wanted to have a little boyfriend, and she did. So as soon as they start noticing boys, it's better to get ahead of it than be behind it. And nobody knows better than you if you were pregnant at 16.
Well, are you saying that the sex talk is the uncomfortable one or the period talk?
both, because they're both going to be weird, but you've got to do both of them, and you've got to explain it all, and you're just talking to her about her body. It's, what her body's going to be doing over these next couple of years, what she should be doing with it and what she shouldn't be doing with it, and what sex is and what sex is for. You got to explain it to them because you don't want them to hear bad information from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be the source she comes to and just tell her, look, this is a part of life. You got a vagina, you need to know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think everything's age appropriate, but I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, I'd even seen some celebrity, they were like trying to talk to their 2-year-old about sex, and people were blasting them. I don't think a 2-year-old's going to really understand it, but I mean, I don't think there's for anything. I mean, it's just.
These Hollywood fucks.
What an idiot.
I know.
2, really? Okay, I'm going to bring Rocco in here, and you guys can explain sex to Rocco.
Exactly. I mean,
What?
Yeah. So. But I don't think there's don't
11,
be shameful of it. Yeah,
no,
it's
don't
probably
be
a good
ashamed.
age around there.
And don't you be embarrassed by it. You have to look at it like, hey, this is just your body. This is just life. This is my job. I'm your mom. I got to show you what to do with everything. I got to show you how to be a woman. I got to teach you. You make a little pack for her. This is what me and Mags did. We made a little pack where she keeps it in her backpack, and it's got like a little panty liner, extra panties in case her accident, her first day comes at school and there's a little bit of a mess or something. You want her to be prepared and knowledgeable. You don't want it to be a surprise.
Right.
You don't want anybody else to teach her but you. You want to be the source, and you just want to be cool about it.
Okay. What do you think? Good dad, bad dad. You teach your son to masturbate.
Well, you teach your son to masturbate?
Or you tell him about it. You say, hey, look, you just do a little bit of this, and then.
I think every man finds it for himself eventually, right?
I don't teach to masturbate.
But I think you could have a conversation about having these weird feelings happening.
Yeah.
And,
When you bust them doing it, which you will, you can say, hey, it's okay to do this. You just have to do it in privacy, in your room, when you're by yourself.
Yeah, don't do it in front of the microwave. It'll make it smaller.
Wait, what?
Just kidding. No, I've never jerked off in front of the microwave. I was just making a
Did
joke.
you put your dick in the microwave?
No, I do try to say jokes mixed in with my stupidity.
Yeah. He put in pizza rolls and got so excited.
Oh, I wasn't then, but I am now. Look at Kevin's O face on that. But I think you probably will probably talk to Cannon about that, right?
Jerking off.
Not how to do it and how awesome it is.
I'd probably talk about sex, masturbation. Now, it's not. I don't think I would go that route. And you're right. I think it's almost like you got to earn it. You got to find out about.
You just find out for
trial and
yourself.
error.
And if you do walk in,
Every man should find that out for himself.
Because I mean, I don't think my parents had to talk about masturbation. I completely figured it out for myself.
Yeah.
They did have the sex talk,
Yeah.
which I think is a little different.
Yes.
I remember as a young kid trying to look up verses about masturbating in the Bible. I'm like, is this a sin?
Oh,
Because it feels awesome.
Oh, it's the best thing.
It's like, please, God, don't let this be a sin.
Oh man, when you said that, you go, and everyone's gonna know you're masturbating, they're gonna find out. I often think about when I was younger, thinking I'm so slick, and my parents had to have known what was going on. There was no reason for me to take an hour and a half long shower. There's no reason for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a reason.
Oh, there was, but I mean, they're like all of a sudden
Takes you a long time, huh?
Yeah, he wants to get clean. Well, I mean, back then, just exploring.
Romancing the bone.
Hour and a half might have been a little lengthy, but a 35-minute shower that's pretty lengthy for a teenage dude.
He's experimenting fucking everything in the bathroom.
No loofah is safe.
That's not an accurate statement.
He tried out every washcloth. He's just like, no.
Hour and a half
I
was
need a higher thread count.
You ever seen those squishy play toys?
hour and a half was too long. But 30 minutes, if I was in there, if I was braving the coldness of the water, I was in there too long.
Okay. Somebody texted and said, Kev, you heard about the new brewery they're building in Tradition in Port St. Lucie? It's going to be awesome.
I did see that
It's
because
called Hopcat.
They're building it right by where the Taste of Little Italy was.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
And so they were talking big game about how cool this thing's going to be.
Yeah. Hopcat, I believe it's a chain because they have one in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where my son goes to school, and every time we go up there, we go to Hopcat. So I know the menu very well and the place, and it's a sports bar, restaurant kind of thing. They play like classic rock, if I remember right. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, and they know their beer. Whoever puts it together knows the stuff. So it'll be great. And yeah.
Do you like classic rock?
I do.
Some of it?
Yeah, some of it. I mean, but I'm, like I said, the one thing for me, I'm one of those guys, I burn out on music so much. And so I go back and I do still listen to classic rock, but I can't listen to it that much because I'm like, okay, for maybe like a day or two, I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool to go back in here. And then I'm like, all right, I'm burn out on it again.
Because there's some good classic rock, and then there's like ZZ Top shit.
Yeah.
It's like sweaty rock. I can't explain it other than the fact
I hear
when
ya.
I hear it, it just makes me. I just get clammy and sweaty. It's
There's
weird.
some groups that I absolutely hate. Steely Dan, Molly Hatchet, all that, whatever that kind of shit is.
Panda likes him some Steely Dan.
I like Steely Dan
Yeah.
too.
There's some good songs from Steely Dan.
Is Ambrosia classic rock?
Yeah, that is soft
Yeah,
rock.
soft rock.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I'm more, stuff I like a little Led Zeppelin.
The classic rock is.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like. If I listen, I gotta go for that. I got an email here from Lindsay. Said my boyfriend and I of 5 years have hit a rough patch. We are both going through personal struggles. We care deeply for each other, but unfortunately have taken time apart. Valentine's Day is hard for us to be apart from each other. We've been longtime fans of the show, and he listens every day as he gets ready for work. Due to working nights, he has to listen to the previous day's podcast. It'd mean a lot to me if you guys could give him a late Happy Valentine's Day shout-out.
Aw.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's a sad story.
It is, Virginia. Hopefully they find their way back together again.
Love,
They
man.
both want to be together, but the personal problems are tearing them apart.
I can see that happening sometimes.
Sounds like a song.
It sounds like a classic rock song.
It does, yeah. Got this from Mark Roberts. Lives in Panama City.
Yeah.
Sister's a diehard fan. And she's the one who told me about you guys 2 years ago, and I have been hooked ever since. Every time I go for a run, I listen to you guys. I must look like a total idiot, laughing hysterically while I run. Thanks for making my life a little better and my pace a little worse.
Have you been to that Panama City beach?
No, I've never been to Panama City. I have not done the Panhandle. As far up as I have gone is Tallahassee now. So
That's where, remember for the hurricane, that's where I evacuated.
Yeah.
Because my dad's got a little condo there. And the beach is so sugary, like
Yeah.
soft. The sand is like super white.
golf has great stuff, yeah.
Beautiful sand.
What's with this condo? Is it cozy there?
Super cozy. It's a 1-bedroom, so that was fun, fitting 8 people in it. But it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get up there. I haven't done the Panama City and the Deland, or not Deland, Destin and those kind of areas.
Pensacola.
Pensacola, I haven't done that
It's
either.
pretty there. I don't know if it's raging, but I'm sure now they've got some cool stuff there. I'd imagine.
One of these days, got to get there.
Well, let me know if you want to make that trip.
Okay, it's a long one.
I used to go to school up there.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Where Virginia's talking about the Panama City area, the community college I went to was called Chipola Junior College at the time, and it was maybe 45 minutes from Panama City, 45 minutes from Tallahassee, and about an hour and a half from Pensacola.
We always pass it because we pass like Chipola River or
Yeah.
something. We always go, oh, this is where Jay Bird went to school.
Oh, yeah,
when we're
okay.
driving to Mardi
Okay.
Gras every year.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. We've got Eston here. He's a 22-year-old boy, he says, from Oslo, Norway. Been listening to your show now for 6 years. You can add me to the KVJ Nation map. So there you go.
Oslo, that's awesome.
Oslo, Norway.
Wow.
Very nice. Very cool. Also, got to say, what up to Stephanie? She's been on Hook Up or Hang Up before. And she has got an event coming up next Friday. In fact, we're going to be down around that way in Fort Lauderdale Blue Martini. She's got this thing that is a fundraiser for kids in distress. How it works, $10 to get a bus ticket, 100% of which is donated. And the Damn Good Beer Bus will run a continuous loop where you can hop on and off all evening on your own schedule between the 6 establishments that are participating, all 5 breweries in Pompano. And it's A Cubano, B for the food destination, but all the breweries have food trucks as well. Each brewery is donating $1 per beer, and Cubano will donate 10% of your total check. You can get buy tickets on my Facebook event page, or to avoid the service fee, you can Venmo $10 to the Barman's Fund SoFlo, SOFL. Every dollar raised will buy household wish list items for local foster homes.
Nice.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. That is. Damn Good Beer Bus is good. And you're talking about Holy Mackerel, Bang and Banjo, 26 Degree Brewing, Broski. Looks like I haven't even heard of that one. So, yeah, I got to check that out. Damn Good Beer Bus. Good people, too. So. And a couple ideas here. Sheena about the Parkland victims. Help needed. Yesterday I went to give blood. I was unable to because of my iron being low. But they really need more donors. One blood was completely wiped out on Wednesday, and having been receiving calls for more O positive and negative and B blood. Please, if you have not donated, please give. She's going to try to get her blood right so she can do that. And Autumn has a good idea. It is commendable at your show, and so many other celebrities are taking an action stance. One suggestion is to create a scholarship contest in honor of those who have been impacted by the various school incidents. The premise would be to have the applicants propose preventative measures for battling such incidents. By seeking those who are the future and being most impacted, a new and fresher vision will emerge. Absolutely. I love that idea. We're working on something maybe with the I saw the athletic director that was sadly killed in the shooting. They're talking about putting together a scholarship fund in his name. So things like that are what they're trying to do, a fitting memorial for some of those victims there. And we'll continue to look at that. If you have any ideas, please let us know, because we're putting our game plan together right now, and it's probably going to take a little bit of time. We're not pushing the issue. Some of the people that we'll need to talk to need obviously some time. So we'll give them the time necessary, and then we'll definitely be staying with it. So please get those ideas to us and keep them coming. All right, I want to say thanks very much to Bud's Chicken and Seafood for today's After the Show podcast.
I've been talking to Philip. It looks like I'm going to have some buds for this wedding that I'm putting together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. The caterer has come together.
Gosh.
Philip never lets me down. 7
Okay.
locations, Palm Beach County. Try the bird sauce.
All righty, there you go. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tonight. Cocktails Karaoke, Blue Martini, 7 to 9 at City Place. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.